Before we begin, subscribe to this channel and turn on notifications, because the stories told here are not random. They are buried truths, forgotten civilizations, and mysteries history never fully explained. If you don't want to miss the next revelation, stay with us. Long before modern borders existed, long before history books agreed on what came first, there was a kingdom beside a great river in what is now the United States. No crowns marked its rulers. No written wars recorded its victories. No final inscription told the story of its fall, yet it existed. Around 2000 BCE, people gathered along the river's fertile banks, drawn by rich soil and steady water. This river was not merely a source of survival, it was the lifeline of an entire civilization. Where it curved and widened, communities formed. Where it flooded, the land grew stronger. They did not build with stone like Egypt, nor raise towering cities like Mesopotamia. Instead, they shaped the earth itself. Layer by layer, basket by basket, they transformed soil into massive earthen cities. Enormous mounds rose from the ground, platforms, ceremonial centers, and sacred spaces designed with precision and intent. Nothing was random. From above, these cities formed patterns, straight lines, perfect angles, carefully measured distances. The placement of each mound followed a hidden logic, one that only revealed itself when seen as a whole. Some aligned with the rising sun, others pointed toward the setting moon. A few matched the positions of stars that appeared only at certain times of the year. To these people, the sky was not distant, it was a map. At night, when the world grew quiet and the river reflected the moon's glow, priests climbed the highest mounds. There they watched the stars move in slow, sacred rhythms. They tracked the changing seasons, predicted floods, and observed celestial events that shaped their rituals and decisions. Knowledge was power, but it was not shared freely. Sacred information was carved into clay, wood, and stone. It was memorized, protected, and passed only to those chosen to guard it. These guardians were not kings. They were observers, interpreters of the sky and the land. The river fed them, the land protected them, the stars guided them. This was not a primitive society. It was organized, intelligent, deeply spiritual. Every structure had meaning. Every ceremony followed timing, written not on paper, but in the heavens above. And for generations, the system worked. The kingdom thrived in quiet harmony, unseen by the rest of the world, yet deeply connected to forces far greater than itself. As the kingdom grew, so did its reach. Trade routes stretched far beyond the river's edge, connecting distant peoples who would never see the great mounds for themselves. Copper arrived from faraway lands. Shells traveled hundreds of miles inland. Rare stones, shaped by unfamiliar hands, appeared in ceremonial spaces. But trade carried more than objects. It carried ideas. Symbols, beliefs, and stories moved along these routes, blending with traditions already older than memory. The kingdom absorbed knowledge carefully, weaving it into its own understanding of the world. Everything was tested against the sky. If the stars did not agree, the idea was abandoned. Balance was everything. For centuries, life followed a steady rhythm, planting, harvesting, watching the heavens, honoring the river. Children grew up learning not only how to survive, but how to observe, how to listen, how to notice patterns others ignored. Then something changed. There was no great battle that scarred the land. No invading army burned the cities. No final king was overthrown. Instead, the signs were subtle. Fires that once burned nightly grew fewer. Ceremonial grounds echoed with silence. Paths that had been walked for generations slowly disappeared beneath grass and forest. The mounds, once alive with ritual, stood empty beneath the stars. The people began to leave, not all at once, not in panic, but deliberately. Families packed what they could carry. Elders shared final teachings. Priests watched the sky one last time, as if confirming something only they could see. Then, step by step, generation by generation, the population faded away. The river continued to flow, indifferent and eternal. When later civilizations arrived, they found only hills, smooth, quiet, natural-looking mounds rising gently from the landscape. They walked over them, built homes nearby, farmed the land, never realizing they were standing atop the remains of an empire that once watched the sky and understood something we may have forgotten. To this day, archaeologists still debate why the kingdom faded. Some point to climate change, others suggest spiritual prophecy. A few believe the answer lies in the stars themselves. a warning written in light, visible only to those who knew how to read it. But perhaps the greatest mystery is not how they disappeared, but why they chose to. Because some knowledge, once understood, changes everything. And some civilizations do not fall, they withdraw. If you enjoyed this journey into the past, take a moment to subscribe. It helps this channel grow, and it allows me to keep bringing you stories that history almost forgot.